Instagram stories or Snapchat? Which is your preference, and where would you encourage church leaders to focus?
Last year, we did this huge push on Snapchat. I flew out to Denver. I recorded a course called Snapchat for Churches or something like that. I created this hour-long podcast, and I created like a 5,000-word post called like the ultimate guide to Snapchat for churches. We published all of them on the same day, Nils. That same exact day, I got an email from Instagram announcing Instagram stories.
Wow.
What are the chances on the same day? It took us like 4 months to produce all that content. And then Instagram was like, hey, we got this new thing. It's going to ruin everything you did. And that day, and this is why it's so important to not become nostalgic about the platforms that you love. I just recorded a podcast this morning already about like direct mail versus Facebook ads. I don't know when this is going to be published, but we're right in the Easter season right now. Churches are beginning to think, hey, when are we going to, or what channels and avenues are we going to use to promote Easter? And this big thread on Facebook was like, I'm trying to convince my pastor not to use direct mail because Facebook is going to give a much better ROI. The reason that pastor doesn't want to do Facebook is because it's unfamiliar. He is nostalgic, or she is nostalgic about something that used to work, something that they used to do. That is one of the most toxic things in the way that we do communications. And so when it comes to go back to my story on Snapchat, what happened was I was getting, I think like 500 views per story on Snapchat. And I'd just been doing it for a couple of months, which was like huge growth. I remember when I was getting 8 views on Snapchat, and there's this huge rise. And then I saw, okay, my views per day are now decreasing rather than increasing. And my Instagram story views were going up. And so when it comes to like choosing which you should do, it all comes down to like your audience. So my audience, Pro Church Nation as we like to call them, is not 25 and younger or 20 and younger on Snapchat. So I asked my cousin when Instagram stories dropped, and then I asked her a year later, I said, did you transition to Instagram stories from Snapchat? She's like, no. All I ever do on Instagram stories is post a picture saying, watch my Snapchat. And it's true. She does it like every single week, like once a week. Because for her, Snapchat came of age and it was her platform.
Yep.
Facebook was my platform. Instagram was like the generation in between. Snapchat was hers. And she wasn't going to be changing to Instagram because Snapchat was like, that belonged to her age group. What happened though was like Snapchat was on the precipice, like tipping point of going mainstream, where everyone was finally going to be like, all right, I'll sign up for Snapchat. But then Instagram stories dropped and everyone like that was like 35 plus, 30 plus was like, great, now we don't have to go to Snapchat. Instagram did it, yay. And so I slowly stopped using Snapchat. I slowly started using Instagram more and more.